Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. I'm your watch guy today. I'm reviewing a watch that I am incredibly excited about today, but I'm absolutely gutted that I've got to send it back to the brand. Today I'm reviewing the Christopher Ward C63 Colchester. Absolutely beautiful watch. It is built in collaboration with the British Para Regiment, which is a pretty serious regiment. If you look into them, their accolades are, yeah, lists and lists and lists. So, if you would like to have a look at this watch or any of their other watches, I have a link in the description. That link will tell Christopher Ward that you've come to their website through my video. I'd be very, very grateful for you using that link to check out some of their watches, or this one in particular, because it will encourage them to send more watches in the future. So in advance, thank you very much for that. This one is available for £995 on the Christopher Ward website. However, I think they do offer a type of finance which would bring it to £83 a month. So there are some very accessible buying options there for you. And a little trick or hint, if you subscribe to their newsletter, you get like a £100 voucher when you spend over £500. So yeah, have a look at that. With that out of the way, let's hear from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by watchshopping.com, an online store that was established in 2017. They have over 1,000 watches in stock and in hand available to you, and they are from 90 plus different brands. 4,000 plus Chrono24 and Trustpilot reviews shows how trustworthy watchshopping.com is. They are the one-stop shop for any watch that your heart may desire. If you'd like to take a closer look, they are linked in the description. Thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. Guys, let's turn the camera around. Let's get straight into this review. So this is a review that I have been extremely excited for. This is a watch that I've really enjoyed having the pleasure of wearing for the last couple of weeks. This is the Christopher Ward Colchester. This watch is in collaboration with the Parachute Regiment of the British Army. Now, if you watched the unboxing, you'd probably know what my link is to that. My younger brother serves in the British Army, and this is the service that he serves in. Insert a really embarrassing picture of him just here for you. That's Robbie. He'll absolutely kill me if he ever finds this channel, so please, God, no one tell him. And like, genuinely kill me though, like that's the type of thing that he's trained to do. That was not even a joke. Don't tell him. This watch is packed with a Swiss movement. That is exactly what Christopher Ward entails. They are a British brand, British design, but powered by Swiss movements. What better combination can you really have in a watch? This one's powered by the SW200 movement from Solita. It is also a COS certified movement, which is a real step up from your standard run-of-the-mill Swiss movements. The watch casing itself is an injected carbon case. The dial and the chapter ring is made up of forged carbon pieces. This watch altogether only weighs 38 grams. I personally think that this could be the perfect military, almost field style watch. In fact, I'd go as far to say that this is the perfect field watch. In diameter, it is 42.2 millimeters wide. It is an absolute pleasure to wear on wrist, especially considering how light it is. It doesn't interfere with day-to-day life at all, but it really does pack a punch when you look at how beautiful it is on wrist. It is 13 millimeters thick, including the bezel and case back. The casing itself, I believe, is around 12 millimeters thick, take away the bezel. Lug to lug is 47.1 millimeters, and these lugs are 20 mil wide. It is attached to one of Christopher Ward's tied straps, which is a NATO style strap. Actually really quality piece, this. I think it's probably one of the best NATOs that I've worn, or best fabric straps that I've had on a watch. Best one that I can think of, to be fair. The watch itself is packed with features. Some I've already listed for you. This is a chronometer piece. The actual casing itself being injected carbon really leaves an absolutely gorgeous, almost sandblasted effect, and it blends between the grey and black tones throughout that effect very nicely. Even though this is a injected carbon case, we still have some really lovely details throughout. The carvings of the piece are absolutely fantastic. The curvature to the case. We also have chamfered edges along the lugs. It's just an absolutely beautiful piece. The C63 standard edition is already a fantastic piece. Some of those watches under Christopher Ward are just absolute beauties, but personally, this one's got to be the one for me. Colchester, so named after the headquarters of the British Para Regiment. That is where they are based, down in Essex, pretty much the opposite end of the country to me. I think it's a really fitting namesake for this piece. The collaboration flows into the caseback design. As you can see there, the Parachute Regiment crest emblazoned on the centre of the caseback. It does cover the actual movement itself, which is a little bit of a shame because that movement actually has a collar marque finishing. I know that I've mispronounced that so badly. Collar marque? Something like that. Yeah, marche I go with. It's a French word, alright? Look it up. So it also it's also a screw in caseback. We have these torque screw pieces around the outer edge that really does give an almost industrial styling to the caseback. As you can see, there is a slight view of the movement rotor there, which is a nice differing type of design to it. Now, you may be able to see already there are cutaways to the dial and the casing there. That really does give a nice effect on wrist again. And if I hold it up to a white background, you can see where it completely passes through. Absolutely amazing design from Christopher Ward. I guess that's weight cutting, but it's also just a fantastic design. It's completely out of the box, completely left field, and you really do have to give them props for that because it's completely new to me. It's not a skeleton design, you can't call it that. The cutaways are, yeah, they almost give it an aerodynamic type of feel, as well as making this a very aesthetically pleasing piece. Now, there is also a feature to behold there. This actually has an anti-shock system built into it. Now, obviously, Christopher Ward are not the first designer to pack in an anti-shock system to one of their watches. Formex eat your heart out, but it is nice to see that they are upgrading their pieces and they are really pushing the boundaries of what they can do with a timepiece. And I think this is probably the perfect piece to introduce that into, with it being such a rugged and almost futuristic, stylistic type of piece. Now, there's a sapphire crystal covering this dial, this absolutely gorgeous carbon dial. The watch casing altogether provides us with 150 meters of water resistance. One last thing to show you about the casing, which really did blow my mind in the unboxing. You may already be aware of it. Push in for the crown and it reveals itself. So this is already hand winding. First position is for the date, of course. Second position is for the handset. Click back in and push back in for it to hide itself again. That's a really amazing system. Again, something that I've never seen in a watch before. This hidden titanium crown. This titanium hidden crown is just another feature to add to this ever-growing list that the Colchester provides. It also is signed with the Christopher Ward logo and a sandblasted effect on the inside. Now, as we move to the dial, again, something that is really to behold about this watch. This is one of those pieces that I really found myself just staring at and staring at and staring at. Now, obviously, it's very functional. It's a very functional piece. It does the job perfectly. That COSH certification will provide everything that you need in a field watch really. 150 meters water resistance. The lume on this is an absolute winner also. I'll show you that shortly. It's very legible, but above all of that, it just looks stunning. The dial itself is something that I really fell for. I've seen these dials before in, I think, Zelos watches, and yeah, I fell for it then. It's just absolutely beautiful the way that the waves almost of the carbon form throughout the dial. Every piece of these will be unique to itself because of that cut, that dial manufacturing. We have applied indices throughout the dial. We have some really nice levels of finishing on the indices. They move from polish to brushed effects. It's much easier to see on the handset, and you can see it there. I will have a close-up throughout the video, but as you can see there, we have a brushed effect through the center and polished edges on the sword style handset here. Lume centers, as obviously we would expect. We have a sword style minute hand with a broad arrow hour hand, very legible design. That second hand also with a broad arrow. It reaches all the way out to that minute track, or that chaptering minute track even. The minute hand does exactly the same. So beyond the border of this anti-shock system, we have this chaptering, which really does give the watch a little bit of depth almost. Now, this is one of those watches that really do have the effect of it not having a piece of sapphire in there, or not having a crystal in there at all. It's almost like you can touch the dial itself. The minute track markings around the outer edge and the second markings on the inside of the dial are all in a white print. We have a triangle up at the 12 o'clock. Arabic numerals at the 5-minute indications. And down here, either side of the 30 minutes or the 6 o'clock, we have Swiss made. Now above that, you can see the date window here, which really does flow with the design of the watch. It is central and at the 6 o'clock position. Now that really does give this watch a symmetrical feel to it, and really does play with the aesthetics very well. Up to 12 o'clock, we have the Christopher Ward printed logo. I'm really glad that they've just gone with this really simple logo here at the 12 o'clock. Now on other models, they do have it over at the 9, which is polarizing to say the least with their fan base. Up to 12 o'clock, this keeps the dial very symmetrical, and I really do like these crosshair target type of lines throughout the dial also. It really does flow with that military type of style. Now let me turn the lights off and we'll get this lume shot. Now I really don't have to charge this Christopher Ward for long. The Swiss lume is doing its job fantastically. It's genuinely the least I would expect from them, but they do pack in the lume very well to this handset, as well as the indices themselves, and it is quite long lasting. This is one of those that you will definitely see throughout the night. Now the interesting part of this one is it's also one of the ones that you'll see throughout the day. It charges very easily and really does leave a bright effect on sunny days, which is nice to see. That's a good quality lume packed into that one. I don't think I really have to say much more about it, do I? You can see the quality. You really can. So as we move away from the head of this piece, we move on to this tied band that we have attached to this watch. Now the tied bands do come in different colours. However, if I were to pick this watch up for myself, I would definitely go with this one. And that's because the maroon, almost racing stripes on this one, the maroon stripes are synonymous with the Parachute Regiment. And as well as that, it really accents the dial features so nicely. That second hand colour is colour matched to it, as well as the indicators around the cutaways there that you can see. Now, personally, I think that this is the perfect band for this piece. However, if you wanted one of the other ones, there are other coloured options for you. Personally, I go for this one. The tied band is absolute quality. You can pick these up separately also. Christopher Ward are one of those retailers that do sell their bands separate. I don't think it's the cheapest though. I can't really remember the price, but you can find it on their website. We have two keepers here, fabric keepers. Now the machining on this, I'm not sure if it's plastic or another injected carbon fiber. I couldn't quite find it in the details for this piece. I'm sure it's there somewhere. It does look to me like it is injected carbon fiber again. Now, we have the Christopher Ward logo off to the side here, which is nice to see engraved into that clasp, or into that buckle, sorry. We have the hashtag Tide print on the inside. Now, I do like that they've done that on the inside because it doesn't take away from the design of that piece. And as you can see there, ocean material. This is ocean recycled material for this band. I'm not quite sure which type, but nice to see Christopher Ward taking a step in the environmental type of line, as we've seen a lot of other brands take recently. Now I'm going to pop this on wrist and I am going to rack my brain for some sort of moan section for you guys. It's going to be a tough one, I'll tell you that much. Here we are. This Christopher Ward fits so perfectly on my wrist. It was almost like when I got it out of the box and got it on wrist, I almost felt like it was made for me. The curvature to the casing really helps the fit of the watch. The lug to lug is compact enough for it to be very wearable. And that 38 grams, I mean, it's just the perfect everyday, day-to-day, sports, field. Yeah, it's just the perfect everyday watch for me, to be fair. Now, a lot of people will want some sort of piece with a bezel or something like that, but for me, I think this is just the epitome of simplistic time telling, packed in with a lot of modern features. I mean, anti-shock system built into that, the injected carbon case, the carbon fiber dial, the titanium crown. It's just it's a marvel, to be quite honest. This watch is priced at £999 on the Christopher Ward website, and honestly, I don't think anyone can argue with that. I just don't. The thing is, it's a lot of money. It really is. But there's so many watches on the market at the moment that are charging so much more and doing not even a quarter, a tenth of what this piece is doing. So I think that this really does fall. It won't fall in the budget market, I understand that. And it is edging on the entry-level luxury timepiece. But I think when you look at, I get that tag have a massive history, right? I get that brands like Longines too have a massive history. However, when you compare their pieces to this, just out and out on paper, even not on paper, in person, when you take away the brand names, it just absolutely destroys them every single time. Now, let me get into the moan section, and it's going to be bloody short, I'll tell you that much. So, the weight of it isn't going to be for everyone. Not everyone likes a light watch. I mean, I understand you want a heavy timepiece to show the quality of the build, but the quality isn't in the weight in this piece for me. The cutaways, again, are not going to be for everyone. I get that. For me, I absolutely bloody love them. The carbon fiber dial, again, not going to be for everyone. It's actually quite a polarizing material to use in a dial, I've found. However, again, for me, it's a stunner. It's an absolute stunner. And guys, that's my moan section, to be quite fair. I fell in love with this watch online, just looking at it. And when it came, I fell in love again. And honestly, wearing it throughout this review process, I've just kept falling and falling for it every time I've put it on. It's just an incredible timepiece, especially considering it falls within the sub £1,000 category, with a COS certification, a Swiss SW200 movement, and the features that it packs. It's up there, man. It's really up there. Thank you very much for watching this video today, guys. The C63 Colchester was something that I didn't think I'd ever have on the channel. I didn't think I'd ever have the chance to have it on the channel, so thank you very much to Christopher Ward for sending this one in. It has been an absolute pleasure to wear for the last couple of weeks and really give my own opinion on. I enjoyed this watch so much and I am absolutely devastated about sending it back, to be honest. If you'd like to check out their watches, again, please do use that link in the description that tells them that I have sent you there or that you've watched this video and then accessed their website, which will really help the channel greatly. Once again, thank you to Christopher Ward for sending it in. I really appreciated this and I hope that I get to work with them again in the future. Thanks for watching this, guys. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so just down there. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.